So we have looked at federal bureaucracy, federal civil service, we have looked at provincial bureaucracy, provincial civil service, and other provincial services, as well as some local services. Now we look at the tussle between the different types of bureaucracies and how it affects the social policies. So as we have discussed, the federal bureaucracy is most powerful. Most of the decisions till 2010 came from the federal service, from Islamabad. Most of the decisions were made initially by Karachi, and then when the capital was transferred to Islamabad by Islamabad. But in 2010, of course, because of 18th Amendment, lots of power was devolved to the provinces, to Lahore, to Karachi, to Peshawar, to Quetta, and to Gilgit. But the federal bureaucracy is still trying to wrest control back. And of course, federal bureaucracy was power, but within the federal bureaucracy, it was really the Pakistan Administrative Service or the district management group which controlled all the helm of affairs, whether it was in federal government, provincial government, or local government, as I have discussed before. So all chief secretaries in the provinces were from the provincial administrative service. 80%, greater than 80% of the secretaries, provincial secretaries, were from this group or this service. Almost all heads of autonomous bodies were from this group. Recently, there were many companies were established by the provincial government, for example, in Punjab, which were controlled by the Punjab government, but they were established under the Companies Act. So they were in a sense private companies. So their heads or their administration was also controlled by this Pakistan Administrative Service and the district management group, as it was earlier called. Now, because of this hegemony of this one group or one service in all affairs of the state, other federal services as well as the provincial civil service and provincial services are fighting this. So in the federal government, income tax group and customs group and office management group and other commerce and trade groups all are fighting to get their powers from the Pakistan Administrative Service. So recently, Pakistan Administrative employee was posted as head of FBR or Federal Board of Revenue. So Federal Board of Revenue actually controls the Pakistan Inland Service, which is the income tax service, and Pakistan Service, Customs Service. So it was the prerogative of the Custom and Income Tax Service to become appointed as the chairman CPR, but an administrative service employee which had no experience of income tax or custom was appointed the head. Similarly, in other areas also, for example, there are commercial attaches are appointed in different embassies and high commissions all over the world by Pakistani government. So even when Pakistan administrative employees, they don't have any experience of commerce, they are posted as commercial attaches, and this is not acceptable to commerce and trade applies. So at the federal level, this tussle is going on. At the provincial level, again, the provincial civil service and provincial services are working or fighting against the Pakistan Administrative Service because they control all the additional secretaries and all the secretaries, all the power is with them. So an example of this control of federal service or Pakistan Administrative Service was a federal civil servant who was of 18th grade, and he was, a few years back, he was made the secretary, which is usually a 20 or 21 grade officer of the higher education department. Now that bureaucrat is in trouble, but we will not take the names, but that 18 grade employee used to appoint or put forward the names of vice chancellors. he used to see the promotion of professors and associate professors, who are 18 or 19 grade officers. So even when we was 18, he used to chair the meeting of vice chancellors as secretary higher education department in Punjab, when he was only in his 30s, while the vice chancellors were close to 50s and 60s, in their 50s and 60s, and spent their life in the education field. So this was the kind of issue which was there, and that was why the tussle with this between the different kind of bureaucracies and civil service is increasing. How the tussle is moving about, there are court cases, and then there are the political, using political connections to get promotions, and then sometimes when nothing works, the provincial government and other groups which are not satisfied with the current arrangements, they go on strikes.